Hey everyone, so we return back to Indonesia for the final leg of our trip around Indonesia. This has been a video that has taken a long time. Well, not a video, a series that's taken a long time. And by that I mean over a year and a bit. Well, I guess, yeah, let's get back to history. The first thing I did was my first trip around Indonesia, which was to fly from the east up to over to the northwest, and just go along all the islands and look at them all, Bali, Java, and ending up over flying into Singapore and Changi Airport where we landed. And that was in time for the Grand Prix in 2022. The reason I was flying around this area is because of the volcanoes, and I love volcanoes and volcanic activity and what volcanoes do to places and how they're formed and how that actually makes the planet move around with the tectonic movement, etc. And one of the things I wanted to look at was the biggest caldera ever, which we never got around to doing. So I went back and we revisited, and I did the first 6 legs, ended up with us in Singapore, and then we did legs 7 and 8. And 7 and 8 brought us around the top end of this island and around Aceh. And the problem is that since then, some things have happened. So these videos, I'm flying for 5-6 hours on some of these trips. And although I don't record all the time, a lot of the sites are worth recording. There's lots of mountains to see and volcanoes and stuff. So although I don't record much, also it's in high quality. It's 60 fraps, 60 FPS, and at quite a high bit rate. So it's a lot of space, and I'd only had a limited amount of space. And I also was doing Valheim stuff as well, and GTA 5 and Arma. And I just ran out of space, and I had to delete some stuff, and it just became a big nightmare. So I'm very limited on funds as well, because I'm fairly poor. It's not like I generate any income from YouTube. I mean, these videos get 25 watches if I'm lucky. So I do it for the love of it, and for anyone who might want to just have a look around and see what it's like. It's pretty miserably boring for most people, because it's just flying across the tops of trees with some mountains that no one really knows the name of. It's not exciting for most people. It's not exactly mainstream media. But I love it, and I'm sure someone somewhere will get some benefit from it at some point in the next 100 years, or maybe not. Depends on what happens. Whether or not Putin gets his way, I guess. And the problem is, you can see that these are just this set of legs 7 and 8. And I started recording it on the 6th of the 11th last year. So the 6th of November last year. A year and a month ago. And it took a reasonable amount of time. We went, and then I had to give up for a while in November, and then sort some stuff out with some drives and move some stuff around. One of my drives failed. I had a 2 terabyte drive that failed. Sorry, a 1 terabyte drive that failed, and had to stick a 2 terabyte backup drive in there. I have 5 backup drives which are all 2 terabytes, so I stuck one in and used that as my main drive for a while. But it was already full of stuff that I couldn't get rid of because it was backups. So even though I got a different drive in there, I actually had less space than I had before the drive failed. It also meant, annoyingly, I lost all my Valheim stuff before March last year, and some of my flight sim stuff as well, some aircraft I've been testing. But I moved on, and in the course of the past year I've managed to get a few bits and pieces done here and there. I got a bigger SSD for the flight sim because that got bigger than the 240 gig drive that I had, and that's almost all used now. So all my games had to be deleted off from my Steam folders, and yeah, it just got really problematic. So I ended up slowly buying drives here and there. So now I've got to a stage where the computer itself is all running on SSDs and M.2 drives, NVMEs. So there's no moving hardware in there apart from the fans. which is great because it now means I've got enough space to do stuff. My recording drive was 128 gig, it's now 500 gig, so I can waffle on at length like this and not have to worry about it. I finally got that in just over a week ago, and it's taken quite a while for me to sort stuff out and move things back to where they should be, take out the drive that was in there. And so basically I've got a 1TB SSD from just before Black Friday actually, and that was the replacement to go in to replace the 1TB drive that failed a year ago. So finally that's back in there, and we've got everything moved back onto everywhere it should be. Then on Black Friday I managed to find a lovely little 0.5 TB 500 gig NVMe drive, which just replaced my recording drive now. So I've gone from 128 gig with all my videos on it that I've recorded and that are being edited to 500. So yay, I've got enough space now to carry on. Finally. And I thought, I didn't realise how bad it was. I thought, yeah, I can edit that video now and get it over and done with. And then I realised that I had not only not got the end of the video to edit because, yeah, I'd had to stop here at WITK at Rembele. It may have been that I did one more bit of a leg. I may have gone to Kutacane, but then I lost that with the drive failure. So yeah, here we are again, 1 year and 1 month later, carrying on and hopefully now finishing this wonderful trip around Indonesia, legs 7 and 8, and we're going to go and see the best thing and I've been waiting to see it for the whole of these trips. I can't remember when I started the original. Yeah, so September the 15th, 2022. I'd anticipated finishing it by Christmas 2022. And we nearly did that, but with the drive failures and the nightmares with money and stuff, it became a real problem, and we're now finishing off a year and a bit later. So yeah, one of the longest things I've ever done, and hopefully that'll be all over and done with, well, not the longest things I've ever done, one of the longest videos I've ever done, or video series. So that's the plan. WITK to WIMU, WIMU to WIM. That's what those are all for. So we are there at the airport in Rembele. We're going to fly off down the Rift Valley at the departure from the Rift Valley Main. The Rift Valley Main is to our south and runs along the sort of southwest coast of the islands. And we're going to fly from Rembele over towards, follow it down to here, down towards Rempong and Orang, and then hopefully fly through the mountains to Semboeang, because there's some nice peaks to see over there. Then backtrack inland, and then land at Kutacane. Kutacane? Kutacane. Oh, Kutacane. I don't know. Don't know how to pronounce these words. And then once we get there, we're going to overnight, and then the next day we're going to go and see the biggest caldera, Lake Toba, and the marvellous caldera that's down there. Look at that thing. That is a volcanic plug. That is the inside of a volcanic caldera. It is massive. I'm so looking forward to it. And then from there, we're going to go in, fly around it in a clockwise direction. Then leave and fly to Kuala Namu, which is where we'll end our whole of our trips. Legs 8, over and done. Everything finished, hopefully, finally. Google Earth has changed a bit since I was using it a year ago. It was pretty new then, this online version of 3D browser. And one of the things that is a real pain in the bum for me is that one of the prerequisites for using Google Earth in your videos is that you have to be able to see the attribution, because before the attribution was printed here down the bottom middle. So you didn't, it was fine, it was great. On the desktop version, each of the areas had it printed in the bottom, same, either over here or over here. And because of one of the conditions is that you have to give correct attribution, or they can basically take down my video because I used a tiny bit of it for this. And the problem is they've done this, they've now put it on this thing. So technically, while I'm flying around and I'm showing you bits of this, I would have to keep showing this all the time, which I can't do because they've not given me a button. And that just comes up in the middle of the screen. Look, isn't that great? So, yeah, rather than just print it all along this bar and allow me to put it on completely all the time, or not, or just have it back to this, or show it all along the bar, which is massive and completely empty. No, they can't do that. They've got it on this thing now. So I'm going to have to keep hovering over it to display it on the page, because otherwise they could take down my video because I'm not correctly attributing the maps to people. Absolute nightmare. And as you go around, it can change. But anyway, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to keep popping that up to make sure that it's visible for people. But one of the problems is when I'm pushing to talk, it might be difficult for me to keep going over there and doing that because I can only push to talk on the mouse. So that's the boring stuff over and done with. Look at that, that's a beautiful little volcano. Technically it's probably not, well, it might be a volcano, it looks fairly active, it looks like it's recently, it looks like it's exploded and then built itself up again inside the end of itself. Unfortunately, it doesn't always give you the names of stuff. Like it's telling me what that mountain is right over there and what that one is right over there, but it's not telling me what this one is right here, which is a bit of a shame. And we were using maps, but they're a little bit out of date, so I'll go back to using those and hopefully we'll be able to find out some details of stuff. But we're going to leave Rembele, which is here. So we're at Rembele Airport, so we're going to fly to Kutacane, and then from Kutacane we're going to fly around, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. The thing with, you know, I've most wanted to see all this time, and then we're going to fly into Kuala Namu International, and that will be the end of all of my trip, done and dusted. End of the trip around Indonesia, finally once and for all finished. It does look a bit cloudy out there, so if there's too much cloud I'll have to restart it and reset and remove clouds by cheating and going into not real-time weather, but I do like to try and use real-world weather because that's more of a feel for the real world. So let's just check fuel. Well, it's not enough to make the whole journey, but it's enough to get us to the next airport for sure. It's only 180 miles, so once we get there we'll refuel. Okay, so let's get it turned on. It's just bloke doing. Well, I'm assuming it's a bloke, it was before. Yeah. Hello. Okay. It's got very jiggy. It's got square wheels or something. So clear left and clear right.
Whiskey India Tango Kilo traffic Java 1 taking off runway 09er departing straight out.
Bit late for that, I guess. That's the taxi lights.
Jakarta Center Java 1 is type Diamond DA 62 2 miles east of Whiskey India Tango Kilo 5,000 feet. Request flight following.
Java 1, Jakarta Center. Squawk 2234.
Squawk 2234 Java 1.
Java 1 radar contact 2 miles east of Whiskey India Tango Kilo 5,500 feet. QNH to 9.90.
Roger Java 1.
Okay, so that's us up and off we go. I'm going to pull back and around now to the south and follow into the path. We're going to fly over that lake though first of all. Got to make sure we clear those hills. One of the things about this aircraft is it's really, really stable. It's easy to fly, it's a beautiful thing to fly, this little DA62, but it's a little pointy uppy. It has a really high angle of attack, so it's not very good for sightseeing, I don't think. But apart from that, it's a beautiful thing to fly. So there's a lake in front of us. Tawar Lake, apparently. Although it's Takengong Danau Lau Tawar, so that's probably Takengong Mountain, the lake of it, or something. So let's get back on the GPS flight path. Beautiful place to be. Just very dangerous. It's all mountainous and caused by volcanoes, so at any minute one might blow off and stop and kill everyone. Like all those people living there. That's really dodgy. So I'm going to pull around onto GPS.
Descend and maintain flight level 220, our aviation
We were just approaching 8,000 feet. We're going to try and get to about that. And then engage the autopilot. So that GPS was flashing to tell us it was just getting on the GPS track. It's now picked up the GPS and we'll be following the GPS track. Autopilot's engaged. Altitude is set, but it's not picked that up yet because it's on it's in VS mode. To set VS mode and then make it go up, it's yeah, I can't remember how to do it, to be honest. I think there's an up, I can't read it, that's the problem, I think. Yeah, there we go, now it's up. So that'll climb to 100 feet a minute until it gets to 8,000. One more click, 200 feet a minute, then we should be at 8,000. So we're just approaching this turn here. I'm going to fly towards Gunung Mugaja. I keep clicking on it when I don't need to, I keep forgetting. I just need to hover over it. There we go, you can clearly see all the wonderful people that have taken part in making this stuff. Brilliant. So we're going to keep it around 8,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 16,000 feet. Our aviation niner 04.
Mount Leuser. One of the problems is that they renamed. Well, there's a lot of their mountains have got the same names, but they've been renamed and reverted back to more original, their own language rather than using Dutch or English translations of it. So a lot of the maps disagree with what things are called. So all these are Bernie. Before we go to Gunung, I don't know what Bernie means, but there's Burr as well, and it's a little bit confusing. So we're now heading east and following the Rift Valley again. Yeah, I just did a quick check and I've actually been incorrect in my information there. It's not the Rift Valley we're following, I keep forgetting. It's a Rift Valley sort of, but it's a slip fault. Then we're going to follow that one once we get there. And then we'll turn and follow that down there. Then we'll be down into the Rift Valley proper. And we're going to turn away from the Rift Valley and follow it through the mountains, follow another bit of mountains and come back down to the Rift Valley later on. We'll be back after Mount Bandahara. The reason is we want to fly around Gunung Mugaja. and over towards this peak here, whatever that is. But looking at that, it's possibly Nirupi or Bati Kebe. No, it's not. So I guess Uwak there is Owak on here, and Semboeang is Semboeang, so it'll be Gunung Semboeang and Uluputu. Well, that'll be Uluputu in the distance. Yeah, it's looking a bit cloud heavy once we get down to the south, so I may have to turn off real world weather because we won't be able to see anything otherwise. So we're going to fly into Kuta Cane. Is WIMU. So we just flew over the bridge which separates the Rift Valley, secondary Rift Valley, from the mountains on the other side. And I had to turn the weather down because we just wouldn't be able to see anything. So now we've come through the clouds. This is Gunung Mugajar to our left side, and that is the bit in the middle. That's another big cold area. You can see that that was probably an absolutely massive mountain at one point that just got blown up. Probably another one here as well, with that being the cone. And then a river cut through the middle down to the sea. So we're going to continue flying along this little bit of track now to the north. When we hit Semboeang, and then we'll turn to the southeast. Head down towards the coast, and then turn back inland towards the middle of the island, and then follow the Rift Valley again from Low Kuinam on the way down to the southeast again. Well, south-southeast, I guess. And then into Kutacane, because that's where we're going to be landing. Just a few miles from Lake Toba. So these are what we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing Mount Semboeang on our right side, and Pepangiran and Dua. And then in front of us to our front left up there in the distance. I believe that's Uluputu. Although it could be any of the other ones. That could be Simpang Pete. How to say? I could even, yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's Uluputu. 307 metres. Maybe not, that's not very big. This is open street map, so you don't have to worry about it bit screen. So we better think about reducing our height. And getting out to about 4,000 feet, I think. There might even be Gadang. It's really hard to tell what's what around here, to be honest. There's so many of them. This one is everything's a mountain. There are mountains growing out of mountains. Well, there's a tiny little volcano over there. Look, it's up on a flat top. It's inactive. Ah, I've not pulled that one into where we are. And once again, that's not very helpful. Loads of pictures that I can't get rid of, but you won't show me what I need to know, which is where the hell we are. Never mind. So we'll be turning at Semboeang, which is just coming up now. So we're going to fly over the top of that thing there. Bukit Pinang, apparently. Just approaching 4,000 feet now. So perhaps that's Bandara, Mata and Gerbang to our right side, Mungkur and Sangapana. Should be all those ones, I'm guessing. And then the school was down in front of us. So then it'll be Bampo, Gohalembu, Pepanyi, all those ones. And Bandarace, and Topi and Sigama. Probably will be those ones there. The little one, that'll be Puti and Garja. I think that's probably Puti and Garja there. Like I say, it's hard to tell, so I'll just do them in post. It's a lot easier that way around. So just going to fly over this flat bit of terrain and then head back in towards the mountains. So we're heading back through the mountains towards the Rift Valley. And we're about halfway towards the Rift Valley, then we're going to be turning left into the Rift Valley and then landing at our first destination. I'm not going to lie, we are cutting it a bit close on fuel. It could get a bit hairy, but we should be alright. Hoping so anyway. Yeah, it's going to get a bit dodgy. So I'm going to throttle back to save some fuel. And then I'm going to probably just miss this. We can't, because we need to fly down the valley, so. Yeah, this is going to get dodgy for fuel. Big time. Yeah, it's giving us fuel warnings now. Well, I mean, that doesn't look right. So put it in crossfeed, so we've got the best chance of getting anything more out of one than the other one. Throttle back quite a bit. Once this climb's over, we should be reduced on fuel flow. So panic over. Rift Valley ahead. We've just gone from 9 to 8, so from 9 to 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I'm not gonna. It's gonna be very close. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So as long as we're not below 6 when we get to user 16, the waypoint 16, we should be okay. Otherwise I'm going to try and climb and then glide. So we've leveled off now. Let's turn off one of the alternators. Well, let's see what we do. So we're back over the Rift Valley. Some lovely mountains to our left side, and more of the plains to our right side. On the other side of those mountains, down to the coast. So mountains and plains on that side, mountains and coast on that side. And that's Mount Bandahara over there, that we've just flown over, or next to really. Mount Bandahara, and I don't know what this one is. Doesn't seem to be named at all in this one. Can't even find Mount Bandahara, but well, yeah, okay. Oh, there it is. Excellent, right. So this will be Jammu Lapat, Lubangan and Behem on our left side. And down in front of us is the Rift Valley with Kutacane down there somewhere. So we should start descending. Well, I'm going to stay high for now because of the fuel thing. Yeah, we're down to 3. Not looking good. Then into WIMU. I guess we're going to take 15.
Whiskey India Mike Uniform Traffic Java 112 miles northwest 9,000 feet inbound to land runway 15.
Yeah, it says 1 again, but I'm really confused because we've got auxiliary fuel, so it's going up when it should. It's very confusing. And the auxiliary pumps are on, so we should have plenty of fuel. Keeps giving me what? Auxiliary fuel is empty. Of course it has to be pumped all out. That's okay.
Whiskey India Mike Uniform Traffic Java 15 miles northwest 2,900 feet inbound to land runway 15. Whiskey India Mike Uniform Traffic Java 1 is on final runway 15 to land.
There appears to be some tall trees in the way. So we made it, that's good. We'll have a rest here now. It's 3:30 and yeah, we're probably going to stay here for the night. And then we'll set off in the morning, go look at the big caldera. And I'll explain all about that to in the morning, and then we'll go and have a look at it.